What's up guys, Doomsday here. Today we're back again with another video, and in this match we're going to be playing some Kha'Zix in the jungle. So Kha'Zix has still been super strong, especially after a couple patches where he hasn't gotten nerfed or anything, so thought I'd give him a shot. And especially with Kha'Zix's isolation damage, with his first ability in combination with that, you can pretty much half health squishies with one first ability. And we'll actually see that later in this match, but to start off, I got a ward on the river in this area over here, mostly just because I'm going up against a Lee Sin, and against Lee Sins, a lot of Lee Sin players like to go for a lot of early game cheese and try and invade your blue or go for some crazy plays. And just getting that ward there really makes it so I'm aware if he does try and do something like that, and that I won't be caught off guard and my teammates can maybe fit in or rotate. But for this match, I actually don't know why I don't have the live recording of this. I guess the recording didn't work, so unfortunately I do have to use the replay mode for this, but it's alright. So to start off this match, I definitely see that our duo lane is getting pushed back, so I decided to go for the topside scuttle instead of this scuttle, because if I go for this scuttle and I get contested by the Lee Sin, their duo lane is going to be able to rotate first, and that's going to put me at a pretty big disadvantage. But if I go for this top scuttle over here and the Lee Sin contests me, I can definitely get the rotate from the Yasuo, because he definitely has the positioning advantage, so you just got to be super careful against a Lee Sin in the early game, because if you feed him early, that can really screw you over. But I actually see the Lee Sin going for a gank here, and that's a really good win wall by Yasuo, blocking off the Lee Sin first ability, and he barely gets out of this alive. But one thing that I noticed is that I try and fit in the scuttle super quickly before Lee Sin comes, so that's what I'm doing. I'm forcing in that scuttle. But when I'm taking the scuttle, something big that I noticed here is that Akali actually used their smoke ability. And that's really key because that ability is a super long cooldown. Like if we go to Akali, the cooldown is, we'll see when it runs out. I think the cooldown's upwards of like 20 seconds. Oh yeah, about 20 seconds. And so now I am potentially looking for a gank on this Akali over here, since I know that they don't have a big escape tool, and I go for it. And now we're able to pick up that kill. Whereas if the Akali did have the smoke ability, it would have been way harder to go for that gank, because I wouldn't have been able to target him with my first ability. But now I know this bot side scuttle is still up, and I actually didn't even take my blue. I just skipped my blue to get these scuttles, and I see Lee Sin's on his blue buff right now. And I knew he was on his blue because he just cleared his entire red side jungle before going for the gank on top side, so I know his blue side is still up. And now Kha'Zix gets a great ultimate, and we're able to pick up that Lee Sin here, and now his blue is mine. Or did Kha'Zix get it? Yes, it looks like Kha'Zix got it, but it's okay. So now force out a couple flashes down here. That's definitely good. Don't think we're going to be able to kill him, though. It's a pretty hard dive to dive a Vayne and Lulu. That combination is super strong. You have barriers plus Vayne's push ability that can really mess you up. So that's a duo that you have to be super cautious of when going for ganks against. And you'll learn the hard way, especially once they get level 5 of Vayne and Lulu. It's so hard to gank with the Lulu ult, since it just makes Vayne have so much health. And with the Vayne ultimate too, it's just hard to track him down with all their dashes. But now I'm looking at this bot lane, and really it's just too hard to gank. And especially ganking the duo lane with Kha'Zix is pretty difficult, because when you have two people, it's going to take away the isolation. So it's way harder to get isolation damage against a duo lane as opposed to, for instance, the mid lane or the solo lane. But I reset here. I'm looking to get my Duskblade first item. On Kha'Zix, always build Duskblade first item. It is so strong. It's pretty much whenever the enemies lose sight of you, your next attack is empowered. And that works in super well combination with your ultimate, because whenever you use your ultimate, the enemies lose vision of you. So it pretty much just enhances your ultimate damage so much. But grabbing my blue, I'm trying to get that Duskblade. After this camp, I should have enough to go for it. And I think, yep, it looks like I'm resetting here, and I'm looking for the dragon. And this is really bad at our part because we have no vision control of this area. You can see our dual lane is pushed super far back, and this is a pretty risky step up actually, because if Lee Sin was around, and you can see even though Lee Sin wasn't around, they still have to flash out, so that was kind of a bad step up. But that's why I head back here, try and get some warding out, and I see this Akali again, super low. But notice what I do, I actually wait for them to be isolated before I go in for the engage. So when looking for ganks, you have to keep in mind that minions can un-isolate targets. So notice what I did there. I waited for Akali to run further back away from the minions. That way I could actually get the isolated damage off. But now, with this dragon spawning, again, we have no vision control at all, but our dual lanes pushed up more, and let's see. That actually looks like they're going down. See what I mean by having no vision control can really screw you over. But now we're in a bad spot, kind of getting pinned in by this Akali. So, have to dip out. Unfortunately, this Gragas kind of ran the wrong way. I guess they just didn't want to bring the Akali towards me, which is fair, but now I see this dragon. We have wording on the dragon, which is good at least, so looking for the steal maybe. Unfortunately, not able to get it, and I just get instantly deleted. It doesn't even let me jump out. I just got knocked up by Vayne and Lulu and everything. But our Yasuo's at least getting plates on the top turret, so that's decent. So unfortunately, we're not able to get the dragon there. We just really don't have the positioning from our bot side. Our bot side's kind of the problem here, is that they can't ever get pushed up, and they just keep on getting outmatched every time. But now, with the Rift Herald spawning, I'm pretty comfortable with taking a fight on this side of the map, just because I think we can get pretty decent help from Yasuo. He gets the first turret here. He needs to be careful, though. Lee Sin's most likely in the area, and I want to tell you the reasoning for why I think Lee Sin is in the area. I don't know if he is for sure. I'll check in a second, but he just took the dragon. If you think about it, he was just in this area. He was in this area for a solid minute and a half to fight for the dragon and farm up his jungle. So you know that his blue side is actually down right now. Most of his blue side jungle should be down, and it's actually should be his red side jungle that's up, because he hasn't gone to his red side in a while, so it's likely that those camps are up. So actually, I kind of want to see. So yeah, you could actually see Lee Sin is in the area. But let me change this back to that. So yeah, now this is kind of an awkward spot. That was a really good ultimate by Gragas, actually. It isolated the targets for me, which helped out a lot. Kha'Zix works in really good combination with Gragas. That's one of the reasons why I picked it here, but look at this isolation damage on these champs. Like, as long as they're isolated, I can just keep on dishing out so much damage. And that just completely bursts him down. But now I see this red buff up. I'm looking for it. Able to pick it up, but I see this Teemo, and I actually make a pretty big mistake. And I wasn't too familiar with the Teemo-Kha'Zix interaction, but it looks like Teemo's blind ability actually blocks off all the damage from your first ability. So that's something that I need to keep in mind now that I wasn't too familiar with. But see the Lee Sin near the Herald. That's another reason why he's likely to be on this side of the map, because he probably wants to play for the objective. But we have good warding on it, which is good. And actually their solo lane is in mid, so it's only the Lee Sin by himself. And I think Yasuo actually recognizes that, and he's looking for the play here. I flash in, get the kill, and Yasuo is able to secure the Herald. But now see this Akali force the flash up, and they're just one shot. Both of them are so low, but unfortunately Akali's ultimate deals so much damage, and my team kind of chokes that away, which is pretty sad, but it's okay. Yasuo drops the Herald. Let's see if this is enough to get the mid turret. And it is, which is solid. But now our duo lane kind of just roaming around and looking to farm up my jungle again. Take this red buff, and the next objective should be spawning soon. I don't know where you see when the dragon is spawning, but should be coming up relatively soon. And the main thing that I'm looking for right now, and it's really hard right now as a Kha'Zix, and the reason for that is we have almost no warding of the area. When playing Kha'Zix, having good warding is so key, because you want to find targets that are caught out or that are by themselves. If you look at what I see right now, I have no idea if somebody's right behind Akali. If somebody's right behind Akali and I jump in, I'm probably dead. So that's just what makes it super hard to play Kha'Zix when you don't have good positioning advantage. And you can see that's why I choose not to commit, and I'm playing super scared because I don't know who else is in the area. So like Lee Sin's still missing. I see that there's 3 on this bot side, and yeah, I just can't really commit to that just because if I dive in, I actually want to see where Lee Sin was. Yeah, okay, Lee Sin was actually not there, but he could have been, and that's just super hard to play as a Kha'Zix. So I just choose to jump out, play it safe, and not commit to that. So instead, I'm just trying to defend this mid turret. Should be no problem. See this Gragas here. I'm waiting to see if Gragas is going to ultimate, and if he does get a good ultimate, I can maybe look for a follow-up. Okay. But I actually see people rotating this way, and I'm looking to catch him out and get isolation damage. So this Yasuo pretty overextended, and there's 4 of him there, so actually no isolation damage yet. Oh my god, my throat is so dry. But yeah, you can see there's a Gragas ultimate, and that really actually does help because it kind of throws him off guard. But I'm just kiting back and waiting for them to get isolated before going in and use my first ability. And you can kind of see how that can really change up an entire fight. And we're actually able to pick up a triple kill there. So that went from a pretty bad look to a really good angle there. And it's really just waiting for the isolation. So over there, I see the Vayne. I actually choose, I don't have ultimate, I don't have flash up, so I didn't really want to commit to a fight against a Vayne because I can't really gap close and stay on top of him without my movement speed abilities. So instead, just look for this dragon instead. And one thing about Kha'Zix is you take dragons so fast. And your secure is so strong. And that's one of the things that makes Kha'Zix one of the better solo queue junglers, is with just how fast you can take objectives. And you can actually see almost able to kill the Akali, but sadly the Akali was able to get me down. And you can kind of see without warding, it's just hard to play Kha'Zix a bit. Gragas gets a solid ultimate. Let's see if he can get the kill. Oh, the Lulu ultimate. Yup, Lulu ultimate is another reason why it's pretty hard to play Kha'Zix in this match, as it just gives him so much health and mobility that looked like a good look, but they definitely turned that around with the Lulu ult. But for this match, I actually got Proto Belt, and I want to say Proto Belt is not the best choice in this scenario. I actually just want to practice with Proto Belt. I actually don't even think I was planning on uploading this match, but I wasn't able to play much this weekend, so wasn't able to get any other gameplay, and I still wanted to get some up for y'all, so ended up using this match. But Stasis is the move here, and the reason why Stasis is the move is because of big execution style ultimates. So like Lee Sin first ability plus ultimate, Akali ultimate is the big one. And notice what I'm doing here actually. I see that my teammates are all in this area. They're looking to group around there, but I noticed that the Lee Sin was over here by himself. So that's actually why I rotated here, because I'm looking to get these targets that are caught out in the lanes, in the jungle especially. And I want to talk about the jungle especially is a super good place for Kha'Zix to play just because there's no minions or anything. So a target will almost always be isolated unless there's a teammate around. So now I see the Lee Sin, and notice again, I don't jump in right away because he's not isolated, because these minions are right next to him. So I wait till he gets away from these minions, and then I jump in. And look how much damage that did. That just half-healthed him right away. And he just has to dip out. So now I see the Lulu here, but I don't really want to commit to that. I see the Vayne too, and I'm like, that's definitely not happening. Oh my gosh, my throat is so dry. I've been talking kind of fast this video, I think. But instead, I'm just looking through their jungle and seeing if I can see anybody that's caught out. But again, without good warding, committing your third ability is one of the biggest mistakes you could do. And you'll see a lot of times I'll try and hold my third ability as much as I can. And the reason for that is your third ability on Kha'Zix is like one of your key abilities after your first ability. It's your engage and your disengage. So if you burn it poorly in a bad decision, you'll have no disengage at all. And I think we might see that soon, actually, maybe. So there's the Gragas ultimate, and let's see. I'm able to jump in. Unfortunately, not able to pick up kills. So that was an okay engage, actually, just because they're all super low. But now, this Akali, able to pick him up, and see this Teemo over here. I know I could just kill him right away with my first ability and get the reset on my jump. Because once you get level, I believe it's level 8, you can get resets on your jump with the kill or assist. So now I see Lee Sin here, and I'm actually like, I want to see if I can win this out over here. So I know he's in the area. seeing if I could pick up the kill. I'm able to jump away from his first ability. That's actually why I needed to jump right away, because unfortunately Lulu showed up and I got a dip. Let's see, do I live this? Oh, the Sona barrier, that barely made me live. And we were actually able to pick up the kill on the Lulu, so that turned out super well. So now Akali shows up, and that does not turn out well. But let's see if we're able to pick up Akali here, maybe. Nope, the Akali ultimate is too much. But again, the reason why Stasis is probably the better choice in this match is because assassins like Kha'Zix, Lee Sin, Rengar, all of them, one thing that can screw them over is big execution style ultimates. So things like Garen ultimate or Akali ultimate, those can like 100 to 0 you, your health. And it's super important not to get bursted down by those. And that's why Stasis would just be better, because I could Stasis if I ever find myself in a bad situation where I might be getting Akali ulted or like Lee Sin ulted, and it could buy me a few seconds. But over here, the Akali is able to pick up a kill, and they're just skirmishing it out and able to just jump in there and pick that up. So now the next objective is spawning soon. I see this Lulu here, and I'm actually pretty comfortable going for that because I see that there's nobody around in the lane, and able to get a lot of damage, but unfortunately they barely get unisolated. Plus with the Lulu ultimate, not able to pick him up, but we forced out so much there, so I'm pretty comfortable looking for another fight. And able to pick up the skull. I'm pinging I want to start up this dragon. This the Gragas just recalled, which I think was a mistake. They definitely should have stayed here and helped us in case anybody contested. But let's see if anybody does come. It does not appear that anybody is on their way. And I'm able to secure that, and that's pretty solid. So now I see the Lee Sin here, and I see multiple people. So notice what I do here. And it's actually a mistake, is what I'll say. And the reason for that is, notice what I did there at the beginning of that fight. And I don't know if you're able to notice, but I committed my third ability super early in the fight, and as I was saying, committing your third ability early, it can really screw you over, because that's your engage and your disengage, and thankfully my team is at least able to clean that up, so I did dish out enough damage to where my team can at least clean it up, so it wasn't really that bad of an engage, but there's so many other scenarios that could have gone super badly. And let's see if Gragas can win this out. He actually needed to stasis earlier. If he stasis the Lee Sin first ability, he would have had so much more health, but I jumped in when I saw the Lulu, and I didn't see the Akali was around or anything, and then a second later, the Akali shows up and just ults me, and I have no way of escape, because I already used my third ability to engage. So that's just a big mistake. I should have not used my third ability there. If I could have proto-builted maybe, or just ran up to him and use my first ability, that could work, because your first ability has a super long range on Kha'Zix once you get it evolved. Like, people really underestimate it. You don't need your third ability to engage as much as you think, and if you don't need it to engage, don't burn it, because then you can use it for escapes in scenarios like that, and it can save you in so many cases. But that's pretty good now. I see that's Lulu here, and squishy supports are probably my favorite target as Kha'Zix, just because they can't kill you back, they can't dish out damage, and they're so easy to kill. So that's what I'm doing. Remember what I was saying earlier in this jungle? They're going to be isolated anywhere in here. So I'm pretty comfortable actually going for this jump, because I have pretty good vision of everybody else on the map, so it's all right in that case. And you can see the Lulu just flips out. They just use their ultimate right away. So now I see them in this mid lane, and notice what I was talking about earlier. I did not commit my third ability this time to jump in. I just used my ultimate to run up to him, get the extra movement speed, and that works out fine, because now if I get in a bad spot, I could have just jumped out. So now I'm able to get onto this Teemo, still have my third ability up in case the Akali chooses, or the Akali is actually dead, so never mind. In case they chose to hard engage me. But it's just a good habit to build. Not burning your third ability unless you need to, but definitely can't dive a Vayne. It's just, that can go wrong so many ways, and you really don't want to feed a Vayne. So instead, I'm just farming up. My team is pushing mid lane. Varus gets a pretty solid ultimate there. Let's see if he goes down to the vein. He's getting a lot of heals from Sona, but... Oh, actually, show back up. I didn't even see me there. But it's okay committing your third ability if you are guaranteed to get the killer assist, because then it resets your jump, so it's okay in that case. But now I see the Lee Sin uses his first ability, but when Lee Sin uses his first ability onto me like that, he isolates himself, so it's actually not that bad. But notice here, I still have my third ability up. I still have my third ability, and now I can actually jump out of there. And I'm out of range of the Lee Sin first ability, and you can see how that comes in clutch in so many cases. Just holding onto your third ability unless you need it. And that's really a key part of Kha'Zix that you'll see the best players do is they'll use their third ability in just such like great ways that really differentiates them from like a lower tier Kha'Zix player. So now we'll pick up 3 kills, and this Yasuo wants to do the Baron. Bit of a questionable decision with only 2 of us, but I say screw it, why not? They probably won't realize we're on this, so... We're able to take this pretty quickly because, again, Kha'Zix isolation damage on objectives, you can secure objectives so fast. Just 2 of us here, able to take that super fast. So now... Resetting here, got my Sterix, and then probably gonna build into Guardian Angel last, just because I think Guardian Angel, I probably should have actually gone Guardian Angel first. I think Guardian Angel would have been super helpful to get earlier on here. Oh, actually, it does not look like I'm building Guardian Angel. That might have been a mistake on the build part, just because that way if Akali does commit their ultimate or Lee Sin commits their engage and they do get my Guardian Angel down, I'll still be fine because I'll still be alive. But notice what I'm doing here. I'm just kiting back and I'm not burning my third ability if I don't need to, and I'm just using my first ability on isolated targets. You can kind of see here, I actually do get deleted there, unfortunately. I get both Akali ulted plus Lee Sin engaged. So that's pretty bad, but they burned a lot of stuff on me. My teammates were able to clean up, so... This Gragas is dishing out pretty good damage, and that's actually the scenarios where I'm talking about. Stasis would have saved me there. The second I would have seen Lee Sin land their first ability or Akali start to ult, I could have just stasis and I would have been alive. So Protable, not the move in this match, but it's good practice, and it definitely is better in some scenarios, especially if you are fed. So now we're able to get the inhib turret. And looking pretty good. Yasuo's pushing down this bot side. Let's see if they can get another inhibitor. They should be able to. It's only the Lee Sin up. And they are able to, which is good. And now it looks like they're dipping. We got 2 inhibs now. A couple of dragons. Looking pretty solid. So now it's all just about finding a good fight. And with this much map priority, really, I could just look for isolated targets in the jungle and stuff, because people will be caught out pretty easily. Over here, I see the Akali ultimates. Now I'm pretty comfortable just jumping in. Look at that damage, just 100 to 0'd. That's Akali. And that's what I'm talking about. We're in scenarios where you know you can get the kill or the assist to reset your third ability. It's okay committing your jump, but in a lot of scenarios, you don't want to burn it if you don't need to. So now, able to get some good damage there. Looks like we're able to clean this up. And now we're just pushing in these waves here. So I know they're isolated and just able to delete them right away. But I hope you all enjoyed this Kha'Zix gameplay. I definitely do want to get some more out soon. I probably want to get some actually Rengar gameplay out. But that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, as it really does support the channel. And it does make me want to do more content. But let's look at the damage. And you can see, look at how much damage I did. And I even tanked up a lot too, and my kill participation too. Me and the Gragas both kind of carried this team. The Yasuo didn't do too much, but that's going to be it. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next video.